WVII News at 6.
Today is Labor Day, an annual celebration of the social and economic achievements of the American worker. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. Peter Dubois is on assignment. As we celebrate our workers, we also look at one category of worker vital to the Maine economy that doesn't even have minimum wage protections.
Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard starts us off tonight.
Labor Day is a reminder that we can build an economy that works for all of us.
Garrett Martin is the president and CEO for the Maine Center for Economic Policy. He says in our modern economy, there are many labor rules that we take for granted and don't think twice about.
The labor rules we have in effect that people kind of take for granted, the 40-hour work week, minimum wage laws, and now more recently paid leave, are all rights and privileges that most workers have. Unfortunately, farm workers don't.
Martin says the reason why farm workers aren't treated like other workers started in the early 1900s, when federal labor laws were being passed. Farm workers were cut out of the protections in order to secure the votes of Southern Democrats.
The legacy of that also means that today in Maine, farm workers are 4.5 times more likely to live in poverty than all other workers.
In recent years, the rights of Maine farm workers has been a major talking point in Augusta, with a bill twice reaching the desk of Governor Mills before being vetoed. The latest bill to reach her desk would have raised the minimum wage of farm workers to align with the state's minimum wage. Governor Mills cited an additional provision in the bill allowing farm workers to use the court system to solve labor disputes as the reason for her veto. Martin says he isn't discouraged, but instead is optimistic that more protections will be able to be secured for farm workers in the upcoming legislative session.
Well, it's time we right that historic wrong and make sure all workers are covered.
In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine workers are holding Labor Day celebrations across the state today, but it's not all fun.
Indeed, our Peter Dubois is in Brewer, where union members are rallying for continued improvements to workers' rights. Peter.
Seems to be some type of tech.
Yeah, we'll try and get back to Peter in just a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, this evening, the celebration at the Solidarity Center, by the way, is where Peter Dubois is. So like I said, we're going to try and get back to him. Meanwhile, 3 people severely injured in a crash in Fairfield on Sunday.
According to the Fairfield Police Department, police and emergency services were dispatched to the intersection of the Norwich Walk Road and the Middle Road for a report of a 2-vehicle crash with injuries and entrapment. The investigating officer found that a vehicle driven by 18-year-old Clay Dunning of Chesterville was traveling south and passing a vehicle in the opposite lane when it struck a vehicle heading north. Police say that the vehicle was driven by 38-year-old Jared Peasley of Fairfield. 41-year-old Marietta Peasley was also in the vehicle. All 3 were taken to the hospital with severe injuries. The investigation into the crash is ongoing.
Well, a new drug is showing up more and more in overdose data in Maine, but it's not another opioid. The drug is called xylazine, and it's a non-opioid sedative that's posing new problems for Maine's harm reduction and recovery communities. Despite the drug being new in Maine, according to specialists, the drug, which is oftentimes mixed in with fentanyl and other opioids, was big in Puerto Rico and Pennsylvania back in the early 2000s.
Because fentanyl is very short-acting and xylazine, it's a sedative, so it lasts a really long time. Everyone just knows it as an animal tranquilizer, but it's a vasoconstrictor, so it's a really complicated medication. Well, there's no specific taste, or you can't necessarily see it.
Toole says one problem posed by xylazine is that it's not affected by Narcan, which is the opioid overdose reversal drug. She adds many people aren't aware when the drug is mixed in with their opioids, which makes it harder for first responders and hospital staff to treat overdoses that involve xylazine.
A woman suffered a non-life-threatening injuries after crashing her car through a fence outside the Waterfront Concerts venue in Bangor. Police and fire responded to the single vehicle crash on Main Street just after 2 p.m. Monday afternoon. According to Bangor police, the 47-year-old woman claims she suffered a medical event, which gave her chest pains and caused her vision to go blurry. The woman's car struck a light pole, a tree, and crashed through the fence before coming to rest against a steel barrier behind the fence. Waterfront Concerts representative Alex Gray says the venue received minimal damage from the crash and will not need to change its current season for repairs.
Fortunately, during the design of the venue, we left the sheets up 6 feet high all the way down Main Street, effectively to protect against a 24,000-pound truck ever entering the venue, and they did their job.
The woman was transported to a local hospital for her injuries. No charges are expected from the crash.
In other news tonight, there are some new faces in the towns of Herman and Orono as both communities are now operating with new town managers. Our Jody Hersey sat down with the men in those positions to learn what inspired them to work in municipal government.
It's not always the easiest job, but as long as people understand that we're working hard, trying to make it work for the community as a whole, I really enjoy that.
Clint DeShan is no stranger to the role of town manager. He has worked in that position for the towns of Bradford, Herman, and the city of Auburn before taking a break from municipal government. However, he recently returned to his working roots when he accepted the role of Orono's new town manager. He says being home to the University of Maine's flagship campus and having the Orono Land Trust with its numerous public trails for people to use are big assets to this community.
So I think our goal is maybe more on redevelopment, and redevelop meaning is how can we grow as a community without changing? We've got some great assets here. What can we do to update, improve, and see growth that way?
Stephen Fields became Herman's new town manager after leaving his role as Corinth's town manager.
Herman is a growing community from a residential and commercial point of view and growth, and it's a size community that I would like to be in and allow to continue the growth of the community through the organization and manage that growth with the economic developer, but also the town operations.
Fields says with growth comes the need for more infrastructure and services for those who live and work in Herman.
Where are we going to go for the town office, the fire rescue, public works, our focus on those facilities? As you know, the town office here has been piecemealed, built 3 different modifications. We're still outgrowing that, and we do need to look at what we're going to do in the future to accommodate staff and the needs for records retention.
Both town managers agree that community involvement is key to making Orono and Herman as successful as they can be.
Just like in the corporate world, you want to have your employees engaged. We want to do the same here, have the citizens engaged as well as the staff engaged.
We're really all have the same ideals when you get right down to it. We grew up in the same places, we live in the same communities. We all have the best interests of our communities in mind.
In Herman, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Maine workers are holding Labor Day celebrations across the state today, but it's not all fun.
Yeah, we're going to try and go back to our Peter Dubois again, who is in Brewer, where union members rallying for continued improvements to workers' rights. Peter.
Thanks, Beth and Devin. Yeah, this celebration hosted by the Eastern Maine Labor Council here in Brewer is just one of many that are shining a light on the ongoing fight for workers' rights. Now, these events come at a time when public support for labor unions is reaching all-time highs. A recent Gallup poll shows 70% of Americans approve of unions. That's a high not seen since the 1960s. Leaders here today say that support comes at the right time with the November election on the horizon. They're encouraging Maine voters to support pro-labor candidates for president, Congress, and the Maine legislature when they head to the polls.
We spend so much time at work, and why not be respected at work? Why not get fair pay, fair treatment, and some basic protections at work? Really makes sense. We spend so much time there, and we should be paid fairly.
We are seeing a number of local and state politicians here tonight. This event is being emceed by Senate President Troy Jackson. And an update as well, the National AFL-CIO has endorsed Harris Walz for president. They'll be making their opinion known on on plenty of the candidates, both at the state and local level. That is the Maine AFL-CIO. And the celebration here at the Solidarity Center is free and open to the public, and there's still some time to stop by. The festivities are going to be wrapping up at 7 p.m. tonight. In the meantime, there's plenty of food and positivity to go around here. In the meantime, I'll send it back to you, Beth and Devin, in studio. Reporting live from Brewer, I'm Peter Dubois.
Thank you, Peter. All right. Well, let's turn things over to Jeff Weller with a first look at our forecast.
Yep.
All right, Beth and Devin, thank you. Happy Labor Day. Look at us today. High temperatures back up near 72 here in Bangor, also Bar Harbor, 70 from Millinocket, but much cooler air just to our west will hold there for right now. All right, the wind is shifting out of the southwest this afternoon and evening. That's going to give us some warmer temperatures tomorrow and really last with us the entire weekend. A couple of sprinkles out there today across the western area. Not a big deal at all. These will fade away tonight. We have a long dry stretch now as high pressure is building in for several days. Our next chance for meaningful rain probably not until later in the weekend. Our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly clear skies, a bit cool with low temperatures in the 40s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth and Devin.
All right, so those overnights starting to dip down.
It's starting to get a little bit cooler out there.
All right, I'm not upset about it.
Me neither. You know, it's been too hot for too long.
After my own heart right there. All right, well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Doug Banks went out to highlight a small local business in Seal Harbor.
And with the end of summer upon us, people from far and wide stopped in Bar Harbor for one last summer experience. Those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
Look, here's a phone company who wants us to use our phones less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us. It's a free ride. But I already paid.
Fall in love with your home again with Acclaim replacement windows from Renewal by Andersen. Do you have broken, drafty, or high maintenance windows? We've got you covered. From consultation to installation. Our Acclaim windows made with exclusive Fibrex composite material outperform traditional wood, aluminum, or vinyl. For reliable window and door replacement, choose Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Transform your home with Ashley Furniture's factory authorized sale at the Furniture Gallery. A queen mattress and frame, a 6-piece dining set, a sofa chaise, a reclining sofa, a set of 2 recliners, or a complete bedroom set for just $595. 6 amazing options for under $600. The Furniture Gallery's factory authorized sale ends soon, so don't miss out on these incredible deals. Hurry into the Furniture Gallery. Shop online and visit our Facebook page for more savings. The Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Our phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected. Which is ironic. Don't you think? Ugh, I love this song so much. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Happy Labor Day weekend from ABC 7.
Welcome back. With the goal of highlighting bits and pieces of Maine and wrapping them delicately inside ribbon-tied packages, Bar Harbor Gift Boxes is the business of making someone feel as though they've lived in Maine their entire life. And with National Care Package Day this Thursday, the small business has been given the honor of representing the country's most northeastern corner. Since April of last year, Alexandra Hall and her friend Todora have co-owned Bar Harbor Gift Boxes. Inside their care packages, people will find a wide assortment of products from a variety of small businesses across Maine.
Just being able to represent Maine, it's just such an honor, and I'm really, really proud of that.
To learn more about Bar Harbor Gift Boxes and National Care Package Day, visit our website.
Well, for many, Labor Day is an unofficial end to the summer season, and for people from near and far who stopped into Bar Harbor, well, they had one last summer experience. For one New Jersey resident, she and her friends are in the middle of a cross-country journey, and they decided to make their first trip to Maine over the holiday weekend.
Everyone's really friendly here. There's just a lot to do, a lot of nature. It's stunning. The weather's nice people, good food, all that.
Coastal Kayaking Tours and Acadia Bike, as well as My Darling Maine, are two businesses on the seemingly always busy Cottage Street. And for My Darling Maine, its owner says they're bringing in similar numbers to last year, despite Monday being quieter compared to years past. For Coastal Kayaking and Acadia Bike, its owner says their numbers are down around 25% compared to last year. And while the weather turned out to be pretty great over the weekend, he says, unfortunately, that didn't translate into an influx of customers.
It was a little flip-flop between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but right now, between those 3 days, not including today, we actually are up compared to last year, so that's promising.
Most of our Labor Day traffic is Boston and New England based. They aren't dependent on non-refundable airline tickets. They're in their cars. They can make snap decisions, and when they see a forecast that says rain all weekend, they don't come. So we did okay, but there have been a lot other better Labor Day weekends.
After today, business owners will be looking towards what they call the shoulder season, meaning late summer, early fall tourism. During that time, Bar Harbor visitors largely consist of younger folks, maybe some couples, and of course, some empty nesters as well. Well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, our Grace Blanchard heads out to Belfast to highlight a tradition that is making waves in its community.
And in sports, the Herman Hawks look to build on momentum from last season. That story is right after the break.
I served as a Democrat in the Maine legislature, and I voted for Jared Golden, but I can't do it this year. Jared Golden changed in Washington, and he's given our vote in Congress to Biden and Harris. Now Mainers are getting hurt by inflation and higher taxes. I used to believe in Jared, but he sold us out.
Restoration PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
New car, new house, new motorcycle. Come on down, Howard Insurance.
Howard Insurance Agency has the privilege of 150 years in the business and represents several companies for your insurance. With local offices in Dover, Foxcroft, Dexter, and Newport, we are happy to help with your home, auto, commercial insurance, and more. Call us today for a free quote and see how much we can save you, or go to our website.
Let's do this.
Introducing Chevy's best lineup of SUVs ever. The rugged, always-ready Trailblazer, the first ever Traverse Z71, and the Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495. When it's your time to shine, Chevy's got you.
Qualified lessees with a current eligible lease can get this 2024 Trax for around $279 a month.
Every year, older Mainers are taken advantage of, pressured into doing things that are not in their best interest. Watch for these red flags and talk to a lawyer before you act. Don't be pressured to sign a power of attorney, deed, or loan document. To sign away your home, even with promises you can live there the rest of your life. To give someone your credit card or access to your money. Call Legal Services from Maine Elders for free, confidential legal advice.
Tonight's sports is brought to you by Driveway Maintenance Paving, located in Carmel. Driveway Maintenance Paving is your go-to for paving, seal coating, and crack filling for eastern and central Maine.
Welcome back in, folks. It's officially game week for fall sports teams around the state. I went over to Herman to check in with the Hawks ahead of their Week 1 matchup.
We need to be tough. That's about it. Be tough, play tough, think tough, everything tough.
The Herman football team finished up their preseason with a win against John Baptist on Saturday. There's a few things to clean up, but they're feeling confident heading into Week 1.
I think it went great. I think we have some things to work on. We definitely need to
work on some mistakes on the line, but otherwise we did great.
The scrimmage was pretty good. There's a lot of flaws, just minor flaws though.
I mean, I thought it went great. I mean, halftime is 26-7. They scored at the last second. I think our plays are working a lot, just a few things to tweak here and there.
The Hawks have a young squad this year with only 7 seniors and 10 juniors, so it'll be on that small group of upperclassmen to get the young players up to speed.
I mean, I'm trying to teach them as best my ability I could, and it's just great knowing we have all those guys behind us ready for us to actually lead them to war pretty much. Be a Herman Hawk. That's all it is. Be a Herman Hawk.
Although the group of seniors is small in numbers, they're massive in leadership.
I think we're all really bought in this year. I think our team really wants to be here. We really want to go to states. We want to be a great team.
We are very energetic. We get each other riled up. We have competitive practices. We're just all go-getters in practice and on the field. We really push each other.
Herman was eliminated in the state quarterfinal last season, and they're itching to get back to that stage. Their goal of a state championship is not something they shy away from.
States. Need to get to states. Never done it. Need to get to states.
Pizza party past the state championship. We're going through the state championship. That's our plan.
What's the pizza party?
After the state championship?
Well,
at the top of the mountain.
I like that.
Yep.
Celebratory pizza party.
Exactly.
The Hawks begin that journey for a pizza party on Saturday at Madomic Valley. Reporting from Herman, Jack Webb, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Pizza party after the state championship. That is my kind of guy right there. From Herman to Orono, Maine football head coach Jordan Stevens had his weekly CAA media availability today. Stevens reflected on Friday's win against Colgate and said he was very impressed with the toughness his team displayed throughout the tightly contested ball game, something they worked on all offseason long.
Our ability to play with some mental toughness was really the key, and something that we've been building and working towards. Our leadership and our mental toughness and playing through adversity was something I thought we did a better job of in this game, and that wasn't always there, in previous times. So good to see that.
Stevens did say there was, of course, things that needed to be cleaned up from Friday's game. The Black Bears were penalized 5 times for a total of 35 yards, penalties being something they can't afford as they travel to number 3 Montana State this weekend.
Some first game stuff that I think we can get cleaned up. It's all controllable, but we need to get it cleaned up. As you mentioned, you're playing an outstanding Montana State team that's really excellent in all 3 phases.
Big one for Maine this weekend. It'll be a tough test on the road in that environment over there in Montana. That's all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
All right, happy Labor Day, the unofficial end to summer. I know where to go, but with temperatures in the 70s out there today, it was pretty comfortable. 72 here in Bangor, also for Bar Harbor. A bit cooler Millinocket at 70 this afternoon. Even warmer air is on the way for tomorrow and definitely for Wednesday, as there is a lot of heat to the west of us again. 81 St. Louis, 90 Little Rock, 84 Bismarck. This is kind of sliding in our direction as high pressure builds in for several days around here, with slowly warming temperatures to boot. All right, so today the wind out of the west around 5 miles per hour. It's going to shift out of the northwest for a bit tonight, and then out of the southwest tomorrow morning. And that's going to be a warming wind for us and give us some warmer temperatures by the end of the week. Until then, though, it could get a little gusty tomorrow. There is a small craft advisory out there, most likely going to last for much of this week. All right, so today lots of partly cloudy skies for a while, then a couple showers poked up in there as well. Not a big deal at all. They're kind of fading away as we speak, and tomorrow we will be dry also for Wednesday and for Thursday and for Friday probably, as high pressure is building in. High pressure is our friend. It's sinking air. You can't get bad weather out of that, and that's definitely moving in our direction. So all of this is the high pressure, and there's a lot of this, and that's going to move in our direction beginning tomorrow and give us some very nice days around here for several days. All right, so for tonight, no issues at all. Tomorrow, no issues at all. Here we are into Thursday, then into Friday. We are likely going to stay dry outside of a sprinkle into the weekend and maybe into the early portions of next week. I have not said that for a while. For tonight, though, partly cloudy skies, a bit breezy at times too as that wind shifts out of the northwest. We could have low temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. That's great sleeping weather, of course, with that low temperature near 46. For tomorrow, all right, so mostly sunny tomorrow, a bit breezy, high temperatures near 71 or so. It's said the perfect human temperature is 72. We're going to go for 71, so a bit cooler today than today. With that northwest wind gusting 10 to 25 throughout the afternoon, and there is a small craft advisory out there as well. And looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows a story. Tomorrow 71, Wednesday 78, so many of us could go for 80 on Wednesday. I have an 80 in here for Thursday and most sunny skies. Staying sunny Thursday, sunny for Friday, 76 on Friday, and then our next chance for meaningful rain, probably with clouds increasing on Friday night, likely over the weekend, and behind that, there could be some much cooler temperatures through much of next week.
All righty, Jeff, thank you.
All right, still more to come right after the break.
Toyota's national sales event is on. Swipe into end of summer fun with a new Toyota. Staycation.
College students and recent grads could get a $500 rebate over and above most other offers. Toyota, let's go places.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Welcome to the Purple Baboon, a local gem on the Belfast waterfront. Find lots of little joys for every taste, like fun clothing for the whole family and a lovely selection of coastal Maine-made jewelry. The Purple Baboon, the best selection at great prices, 31 Front Street, Belfast.
Come see us at R&K Variety in Hamden. R&K Variety is more than just a convenience store. With delicious homemade food made fresh daily, we offer hearty meals that don't break the bank. Whether it be our delicious chicken pot pie, our famous lasagna, or one of our savory soups, you can't go wrong at R&K Variety. Looking for a drink after work? R&K Variety is an agency liquor store with an impressive selection. R&K Variety, more than just a convenience store. We're your neighbor, chef, barista, and friend. Stop by today.
Fall in love with your home again with Acclaim replacement windows from Renewal by Andersen. Do you have broken, drafty, or high maintenance windows? We've got you covered. From consultation to installation, our Acclaimed windows made with exclusive Fibrex composite material outperform traditional wood, aluminum, or vinyl. For reliable window and door replacement, choose Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Each year, many look forward to the famous prediction from Punxsutawney Phil in Pennsylvania, but it's here in Belfast, Maine that the prediction from a lobster with a unique talent that community members await each Labor Day. Our Grace Blanchard shares if Passy Pete expects 6 more weeks of summer or an early winter.
A tradition has been born.
The anti-groundhog.
That's right, anti-groundhog.
Pulled from the waters of Belfast Harbor each year is a lobster with a special skill.
As far as I know, it's the only clairvoyant crustacean, the future predicting lobster in the United States. So
we found a lobster, which is a good
Passy Pete, named after the Passagassawakeg River, has been predicting if it will be a long summer or an early winter for the past 10 years.
Well, it's become a tradition. It's one of those things. We have several things in town that are part of the celebrations that we do, and this has become one of those.
Community members waged their bets before the official reading of the chosen scroll.
An early fall or winter.
I think we still got 6 weeks of summer.
I would hope for 6 more weeks of summer.
I feel like we're going to have another good 6 weeks of summer, hopefully, and we'll see what Passy Pete has to say.
Although many were feeling hopeful, there was a lot of mixed reactions once the prediction was revealed.
An early winter is nothing to fear.
Despite the early winter prediction and the disappointment that followed, it's still a beloved community event.
the kids just get so excited. Some years they make up songs. It's for Passy. It's just absolutely great to watch the community get together and just have one little bit of fun, a little bit of shenanigans on Labor Day.
Passy Pete will now return back to the water until his abilities are needed once again next Labor Day. In Belfast, I'm Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
You know, regardless of his prediction, I think Passy Pete's kind of cute.
Oh, I love Passy Pete. He's such an icon.
Yeah, super fun. All right,
Yeah.
We do it our way here in Maine. Absolutely. All right, well, that's going to do it for us, folks, from everybody here at ABC 7 News. Take care and have a great rest of your night.
And for more local news, join us on Fox 22 News at 10.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Transform your surroundings with Paramount Paving, located in Bangor. They are your paving and seal coating experts. Whether it's residential maintenance to full commercial projects, Paramount Paving delivers quality that lasts. Book before June 1st and enjoy a $250 Visa gift card upon completion of your next paving project. Call us today at 602-893